After spending nearly a decade with the Seattle Seahawks, including winning a Super Bowl championship with his head coach Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson forced his way out of town. He wanted out of Seattle, and he ended up getting traded to the Denver Broncos in the offseason. So when people saw the Week 1 matchup on Monday Night Football in prime time, that the Broncos would be traveling to Seattle, people marked their calendars because they thought, it's going to be interesting to see what Russell Wilson does back in Seattle for the first time. But I'm not sure if anybody expected it to go this way. The Seattle Seahawks, who many people had pegged as one of the worst teams into the league going into the season, beat the Denver Broncos. The Broncos and Russell Wilson gave an embarrassing performance in Seattle. They apparently could not deal with the 12th man, multiple turnovers, sloppy game from them, and at the end of the day, it all came down to a 64-yard field goal in which Brandon McManus missed. But when we do look, we see Russell Wilson, let's see, he passed for 340 yards. He was moving the ball effectively at times, but some big moments, especially in the first half, where the Broncos just could not consistently continue to move the ball. The Seattle Seahawks got stops when they needed to, multiple times forced turnovers inside the 5-yard line on consecutive drives, and they just couldn't get it done. And in a weird, really weird play, Russell Wilson, they're driving down the field, it's like 3rd and 15, they pick up, 8-9 yards. It's 4th and 6 with a minute left on the clock, and Russell Wilson seems to be wasting time. They're not really ready to go. Eventually, they let the whole play clock run down, call timeout with 20 seconds left. And instead of leaving the ball in the hands of Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson, who you paid all this money to, they decided to go for a 64-yard field goal attempt from Brandon McManus. Now, McManus has got a hell of a leg, but you think you're going to kick the second longest field goal of all time? That is a better chance than your star quarterback picking up 6 yards on a 4th down? I don't know. With 3 timeouts, I think that was a very silly decision by Nathaniel Hackett. It did not turn out well, and Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks beat Russell Wilson. This is embarrassing for the Broncos. They were nearly touchdown favorites headed into Seattle. Russell Wilson with so much to prove. Of course, pregame, this is Russell Wilson. Look at this. Me, I can never think of a reason to boo Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. People are really frustrated with Russell Wilson because he seems so cringe and unlikable and fake as fuck right now. He knew all the cameras were on him. He knew they were on him. So he goes to midfield and does this. Come on, man. This is a performance. Russell Wilson is fake as fuck. That's why his accent changes depending on the moment. Sometimes he sounds a little more urban than he does at other times. It's almost like Russell Wilson is putting on a show for everyone all the time. And of course, this was the greeting he got by the 12th man, by all these fans who cheered for him for a decade before he decided he wanted out of Seattle. He wanted out of this franchise. Listen to how they greeted him. Now, I heard some people say, if you boo Russell Wilson, you don't understand sports. Think of what he did. It doesn't matter what you did. It matters what you've done. And he has left the franchise. He wanted no part of it. He was done. They left him with Geno Smith as quarterback. And you know what? Geno Smith looked competent tonight. Geno Smith, 23 for 28 for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith got it done when he had to. Geno Smith took care of the ball. And Geno Smith, who had not started a game since like 2014, like 8 years between week 1 starts for Geno Smith. We're talking week 1, not just general starts. He looked good for them. He looked serviceable for them. And the Seattle Seahawks beat and embarrass the Denver Broncos. Broncos might need to rethink their expectations for this year, especially if Nathaniel Hackett isn't willing to let Russell Wilson make a play at the end of the game. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.